Hi guys, in this video I'm going to do a quick unboxing and then I'm going to show you close up my collection that's here in the dining room facing southwest. I just received plants, it's end of the day. I should have two plants that are a bit more rare. The order is from Michelle McCallum, Succulent Eden site. So here is one, two, and shouldn't be anything else, so you can put these back in the box. All right, so let's start with the first one. So this is, guys, Euphorbia. It was sold as, one of the pups fell off, but that's okay. It was sold as Pseudoglobosa. Kind of reminds a little bit to Euphorbia obesa. There is that sac where one of the pieces broke, so I'm gonna have to wash it off. But it's such a nice size cluster. Look at that, guys. So excited to add that to my Euphorbia collection, and I saw it on her site and I'm like, oh, I gotta have this one, so there it is. Okay, and then this other. So this, guys, is a Boobie cactus. It's really cool looking, very unique. Not the best time of the year to situate these because it's almost December. It looks actually a little bit soft here. Hopefully it's gonna be okay. So I'll put these up. So I have been really enjoying coming here to the dining room and seeing my Euphorbias. They look really nice together here. So the first one at the end is this corn cob Euphorbia Variegated one, as you can see. When I purchased it, it had a lot of big branches on the bottom, and I removed some of them because it just looked really messy. I do not like that yellow, and what happened to me in the past when I had the same plant is that the yellow will spread toward the top. From watching some other collector videos, I have learned that this is, I think, some kind of fungus that happens to Euphorbias, and I use neem oil, and I think it stops the spreading, even though, you know, it's not gonna remove it where it happened. So the sooner you use neem oil, the better it is. But overall, I'm really happy with this plant. Look at all those branches, and I can always, next year, if I decided I don't like it, take one of the branches and start a new plant. Then, right above that variegated one, I have another variegated Euphorbia. This is Euphorbia Lactea. You can see some new growth. This is all new growth this summer and fall. Really beautiful, very unique looking. And I also have a little Euphorbia cuttings that have rooted. Look at these pink tips. So it's the same one as the one that I have just showed you. Okay. So this one here is, I don't know idea of this Euphorbia, but we have a big one in the desert dome. It's like a tree, and I took a cutting because we have plenty of it, and it's not looking the same as my Euphorbia Lactea or Trigona. It looks different than either one, so I don't know, but it rooted and I quite like it. It's really cool looking. So maybe I'm gonna leave it here so I can show you how different it is from the other ones. Next to it, I have my Euphorbia Lactea, which is kind of like that variegated one that I showed you, just a regular one. This was a cutting that I rooted, and yeah, it's firm now. I actually had 2 cuttings that I took from my plant that I left in the conservatory, and they rooted well. As you can see, have a lot of branches, so you can see the difference. Yeah, and then this one here, I got as a cutting from my husband's work. They have this huge plant. It's kind of, I think it's like 7 feet tall and about 6 feet wide. So it's like a huge plant. And I took some cuttings and I brought some cuttings to conservatory that have rooted and that are quite big now. And I left one with me, and this side that's turned toward the window started growing little leaves. I actually think that it might be struggling and wanting more light because you can see the pale green tip here. But I am really thrilled that it's growing so many branches. You can see these are all new growth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It had only these 2 when I took the cutting. So, and again, you can see it's a little bit different from this one. So, and then here is my huge a variegated Euphorbia Ammak. Look at, guys, how tall it is. I repotted it and placed it in this beautiful off-white pot. So that's probably my biggest plant here. And I decided to keep it, even though I don't like to keep too big of a specimen in my collection. Next to it is my Euphorbia Trigona. I would highly recommend you checking this one at succulentdepot.com. I think price is great. You can buy half of this size for $7 plus shipping, but it had so many branches and look how much it grew. This one is such a fast grower, so I keep this one until it gets really big, and then I usually like to take a cutting or get a different one, just a smaller size one. And then here are my rooted cuttings of my beautiful, I think it's called Fruticosa. I don't know if I'm saying that well. Big plant that I have with, I took to conservatory, and unfortunately it got sunburn, which I'm so sad about. But it's still gonna grow and give more pups and branches, so I'm gonna be able to bring it back home if I want to. So I have a lot of euphorbias in this section. We're continuing with euphorbias. This is the one that I got about a year ago. It's called Stuffy Euphorbia, and it has grown probably a few inches, like 2 inches. And I just saw that it started growing another branch. Super exciting. I love it. I really wanted this one to have more branches. Then I have this one here. I forgot the idea of this one. Also Euphorbia. Then I have another rooted cutting of Euphorbia Lactea. Euphorbia fimbriata. Next one is this Medusa or Flaningani, something like that, Euphorbia. It has grown so much. I actually repotted it just before I took it inside because the pot that it was in looked kind of silly small compared to the wideness of the plant, and it had blooms. I didn't show you, but it had cute little yellow blooms this end of summer. Then here is the corn cob Euphorbia that's not variegated. And then I have obesa here that I got from Lowe's. Yeah, I found it in Lowe's in a cactus section. And this is my variegated milliformis. Look how pretty it is. Seems to be doing okay. And here is, guys, the one that I repotted in my previous video. You can see this is now middle of the day, so the leaves are not up like in the morning and the evening, but it's very happy here in the new pot. Next to it, I have this ginormous cutting. I don't know, this, I think it's also Lactea, but I'm not 100% sure. So this is probably the biggest cutting that I have ever rooted. Well, I think it's still rooting, so I don't want to disturb it, but look how cool it is. The next here I have my beautiful Jade plant. This is Crassula, Hobbit golem, I don't remember exactly which one, but I wanted to show you at the end of the summer it started popping new like leaves all around the stem, and I thought that that was really pretty. Another euphorbia that I have here that I burned at the end of summer is this Grandicornis variety, and I'm going to show you sunburn. There is here this red, then there is this red, and this pale here. So yeah, if it was like this, I think I wouldn't even mind. I really don't like these bleached parts where I, you know, really, and there is another one here. So I burned this one pretty bad. I could always cut it again and root it, but I don't think I will. I think I'm just gonna keep it like this. It's not that terrible, I suppose. And there is another Crassula variety. These leaves are a little bit different than the ones that I just showed you. I used to have a bunch of stems with this one, so I kept only one. And I repotted it end of summer. So here is my little Trindescantia. I think it's called Pink Panther, but I'm not 100% sure. I will probably research before I put the name here. It has grown so much. I actually just trimmed it before I made this video. So I think a few days ago, and I noticed that cuttings are already producing roots. I'll show you in a little bit. It's just, this is such a prolific plant. Like, it's such an easy one. And the colors are so pretty. Next to this pink plant, I have two more pink succulents. I have my Pearl 1 Nürnberg with a little mineral stone. And then I have a rainbow cactus that I got as a gift. Above this Trindescantia that I showed you a minute ago, I have my variegated string of pearls. The strings were just maybe an inch long, and you can see how much it has grown in the last probably 2 months, and seems to be really liking here. And I think if string of pearls likes it here, then probably euphorbias and some other succulents won't, because they don't like too much, I think, direct sunlight, and that stresses them out and dries them. So I don't know, this one seems to be happy here. You can see the length. All right, next to the variegated string of pearls, I have this variegated euphorbia. Then next to it I have another euphorbia, and this one, I think it's called Greenway, if I'm correct, but it has struggled and had some really strange brown stuff on the some of the stems, and I chopped them off, and wherever I chopped there is a lot of new branches that came out, like 3, and they all seem to be healthy. So you can see I'm really happy because it's such a unique color of these branches. I really like this plant. And then next to it I have this huge string of hearts. Actually, guys, I'm trying to decide whether I like this plant or not, because first, it has been really annoying how much mess it creates. So if you're not familiar with this plant, it has these wacky blooms that are for months and months blooming and coming off. I'm going to show you close up. There is the wacky bloom. And every week when I'm watering plants, there's like mess all around in the other pots, on the floor. And I'm about to go like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep it or not. But I do like those strings. I think it's cute. So what I did, I tried to remove as many blooms myself, like I would cut them. And then I also shortened the strings, like maybe half the size, because it was coming all the way to the floor and just looked really messy. So yeah, so this one's different. And here is my Pilea peperomia that I added some soil last time when I had a video. And then this is the little baby one. Well, actually, this is the baby one here. A tiny little plant growing that popped from soil. This one is more mature. So I don't like that the leaves are curling. I'm still trying to figure out why. I used to have them all flat and lighter color. So I don't know, something with my watering and light has changed and it's not like it used to be. Next two plants here facing south are this Euphorbia Enopla and my Euphorbia Agavoides Miranda. As you can see, Echeveria Agavoides Miranda. As you can see, it's doing pretty good, no stretching, and it's on natural light. Two more Euphorbias. Here are the Tanzania Red. That is no longer as red, as you can see, because when it was outside during the summertime, it was really pinkish color. Now it's looking almost as green as Monodanium. Again, probably needs more light, but this is my Monodanium Richie. I also have here one cactus. Most of my cactuses are small, but I did keep this one, and it's in a bigger pot. I think it's called Austrocylindropuntia subulata monstrosa. And then I also have one Kalanchoe plant here. This is the one that I got in swap with Emily, and for a whole year it didn't really grow. Like, I thought I'm gonna lose it. Just wasn't doing nothing. I wonder if when they like go from Florida conditions to Michigan, they just like get so shocked that they don't grow very well for a while. And then this year, end of summer, it finally woke up, started perking up and putting up some new growth. So looks nice. Actually, it looked much nicer a month ago. Now, due to lack of light, I think it got more bluish color, but it had some nicer yellowish, orangish tones on it. And the last one on the shelves here by the window, on the window sill actually, is this big Euphorbia. And I do have like a little cutting, Echeveria cutting here that rooted. So now I'm going to show you my few big pots that are on the ground here in the dining area. So here is my monstera adansonii, guys. So at least one of them. I have one that has much wider leaves. I think it's like a wider form. This one is more narrow form, although the leaves have started getting larger compared to when I got it. But I just wanted to show you what it has done. So I did finally cut some branches. There was 3 branches that were dragging all the way here to the floor. And I'm rooting those, and I'm going to show you the progress on rooting progress. But I noticed that just a few days ago this. So this is wood, IKEA, like a storage, dining storage, and look what's going on, guys. It is so firmly attached. So it started growing a branch here. And what I think it's going to happen, it's going to fill up this whole storage because this is like perfect for it. They love to climb wood. That's their favorite thing. And then I have here Variegated sanseveria, my beautiful philodendron with a string of turtles. Then I have my Peperonia ruby cascade cuttings here that I rooted. Then I have my other philodendron cutting that I rooted. This is my zigzag ephiphylum cactus, and then my beautiful variegated ficus. Look guys how big it is. It has grown so much. I have bought it this year from Lowe's. It was quite small pot, so much growth, so many leaves that it got this year, and it never really, I hope that stays that way, it never lost any leaves, so it was very happy with my care and the conditions, I suppose, that it had here. We'll see how it's gonna be now through the winter time. Anyway, let's see, there is 2 more plants here, so you can see one more time my euphorbias. This is that corner I was showing you. This is all the euphorbia plants. And then here on the floor I have my agave macrosanta. As you can see, I put it away from any area where people are passing or animals because it's so pokey. So I'm keeping it here in the corner where hopefully nobody's gonna get poked. It's like really pokey. And I also have this, I think this is some kind of Triniscantia. So they're here together. So yeah, that's our dining room. I also have my huge sanseveria here next to the garbage can. So that's where the dining room is. So here is my 2 new additions that have been for a few days under lights. I decided for them to establish. I'm gonna water them with rainwater and just keep them under lights before I place them on a natural light on a windowsill. So this is my, because of the lights, it's kind of a little bit darker. You can see it's a really nice cluster, the white pot. And this one here will join other cacti on the windowsill. And just to quickly show you propagations, so I have 3 branches of monstera adansonii, and if I can see, they're all starting to grow little roots. Here you can see this white. So they're all growing little roots. They're a little bit slower right now. I think it's maybe because it's time of the year, it's almost December. But these guys, look at these little white roots. As soon as I placed them in the water, I think it was like 48 to 72 hours, and they had roots. So there is a lot of little roots in the water. So I'm gonna probably plant these soon. So this little Callisia pink panther is so easy to propagate. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the tour here in the dining room. See you next time.